It's time for the Playmaker Spotlight with Executive Coach and Vistage Chair, Dick Smith.
Well, welcome once again to the Playmaker Spotlight, the part of the Get Down to Business show where we speak to CEOs and business owners and share their stories and their best practices with you. And I am your host, Dick Smith, the CEO business coach and award-winning chair for Vistage International. And tonight I'm very pleased to have as our guest Jeff Bone. He's the president of the sales division at Imperial Crane Services Incorporated out of Bridgeview, Illinois. Out of their website, it says Imperial Crane is an American success story that began with a simple, uneducated man, the son of a German bean farmers, who in 1969 had the courage to buy a single 25-ton crane. With the unmatched tenacity and straight-shooting, outspoken John Bone worked his knuckles raw to become one of the most powerful businessmen in Chicago. I love that. While also building what has become one of the largest crane companies in the world now. Since John Bone's passing in 2003, a family including nephew, Jeff Bone, who's here with us today, and his cousin BJ, son of John, and other family members, they've continued John's legacy. This award-winning company has grown under their leadership from 80 employees in 2003 to over 500 today, increasing its fleet from 30 to 300 plus cranes, and has nearly quadrupled its revenue from $30 million to over $100 million. Evaluating its prominence from Chicago's largest crane company to one of the largest crane companies in the world. Jeff Bone, welcome to Playmakers.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hey,
that was quite an introduction.
Well, thank you.
I'll just keep talking.
It's the biggest one today so far, right? Just like you paid me to say, right?
Wow.
So, hey, tell me a little bit more. Throw some meat on those bones of that history of the company and your involvement.
Like I said, that was a great introduction. The company was founded by my uncle back in 1969. So we've been in business over 45 years, and is currently run by or owned by my cousins, BJ and Lance. BJ is the CEO of the company and oversees the general business of everything. Lance runs the entire sales locally for the daily rentals and oversees the sales staff. And my job is as president of sales, which I'm glad you kind of asked me what my title is and what to do, because if you ask them, they'd say probably nothing. But, no, but my job basically is buying and selling the equipment that is constantly moving in and out of our fleet. And we are also a dealer for international manufacturers, and we sell cranes, although primarily our business, 90% of it is services, crane services, rentals. But another 10% of it is sales.
Gotcha. Was it you or BJ that was telling me one of the things that you guys were in years ago and have gotten out of it was bungee jumping when it first became popular?
I didn't know you were going to hit me with that
Tell
question.
me that story. I just think that's a very interesting story.
Well, that was obviously a long time ago. Fortunately, that story was a success story as well with our company. I started it actually right when I got out of college. I was working for Imperial during the weekdays, sales, operating the cranes, and came to my uncle and said, we could do this. And we started, I don't know if you remember this, along the interstate, we had bungee over Chicago and a big pool out there. And on the weekends, we followed that fad for a while, and we're very successful at it. And fortunately, nobody ever got injured. Nobody ever got hurt, and it was a good chapter in our company. But we've obviously moved on. The
insurance bit chased you out of it, I suspect.
No, believe it or not, we were insured by Lloyd's of London at that time, and we never had a claim.
Gotcha.
Never had a claim. That wasn't an issue. So.
Very interesting. Well, let's move up to today. So how many employees and offices do you guys have? I know you're out in Bridgeview. They're right by 294 and
right off at 95th
Street.
and the Tri-State as our headquarters. Yeah. We have another large facility in Griffith, Indiana that covers Northwest Indiana. A few years ago, we opened up down in Houston, Texas. We have a facility there. And then our jobs, a lot of the jobs are in different states and out of state. Currently, we're doing a big fertilizer plant in Iowa. We're building a gas plant down in Houston, as well as the maintenance contract for BP out in Whiting, Indiana. But the jobs themselves almost become facilities. For example, in Iowa, we have over 50 cranes on the job, over 50 operators, so they have mobile office trailers and everything on that particular project.
I'm curious, how many family members, second generation or others, are involved in the business?
Well, let's see. Off the top of my head, I don't know. We do have some cousins that are in. My cousins are in the company. Obviously, the owners of the company are my cousins. We'd like to consider all our employees family members.
I like that answer. Good for you. But it is second generation mostly. Are there third generation kids involved yet, or are they
they're
young?
starting. They're starting the same way we all did, in the shop with a broom.
So is it difficult working for a family business like this?
You know, it can be. I mean, we're like any business, it has its difficulties. But
so what's your secret to success to keep this family together, you and BJ and Lance?
You know, I guess it would have to be, I'll go with the general communication. We communicate very well. We have weekly meetings where we all get together and literally discuss our ideas, plans, whatever is going on with the company. We all discuss it at least weekly. And
you pick your battles, I suspect, too, is right.
I don't have any battles.
Hey, if you're just tuned in, we're at the Get Down to Business Playmaker Spotlight here, talking to Jeff Bone, the president of the sales division of Imperial Crane out there in Bridgeview. So describe, who are your typical customers? You mentioned BP and the plant out there, BP Amoco. And
well, you know, there is no typical.
No typical?
Company. Yeah, we're very diverse. We're literally working in everything from refineries, chemical plants, nuclear facilities.
So those are the big projects with 50, 60 cranes.
Yeah, and big projects, and then all the way down to
single crane
setting an air conditioner on a roof of some guy's house.
Okay.
So we're very diverse. We're very fortunate that we have a very diverse customer base.
And how many employees altogether?
Well, that depends. It depends on projects. I'd say today we probably have about 250 out.
Wow.
We've had up over 500 depending on the projects because the operators. However, most of the operators, full-time operators with our company, have been there over 30 years.
Wow.
And we're very proud of that fact.
Good. So you mentioned a little bit about it being a family business, second generation, now turning into third, and it having a sort of a family feel or culture. Can you talk a little bit more about your culture? What's your culture?
Well,
what are your values there that you follow and were set by perhaps John?
Well, you know, I think the values are, and the most important thing in our company is our people. You know, our people is what diversifies us from other crane companies, to be quite frank about it. And with that, our people, our main focus, especially in our industry, is the safety aspect. Safety is our primary function at Imperial Crane, and I think that's what really differentiates us from a lot of other companies. Not that other companies are all unsafe, but I mean, we really focus on it. And, you know, there is no small accident in our industry. It could be catastrophic. So that is our primary goal, and that's primarily what we strive to give our customers, is that safety factor with everything that we do.
Well, you guys have had tremendous growth even since you took over, Boyce took over in 2003. So what does it look like 3 to 5 years from now? I mean, you've added a lot of people over the past 8 or 10 years.
We really have. You know, our goal has always been to grow, but not anything crazy. That's not, we just want to grow. We want to conservatively grow and expand into different markets, as well as grow with Chicago and the Chicago area. But, you know, some of our big customers have taken us with them on projects literally all over the world. We just got done completing a job with Chicago Bridge and Iron in the country of Colombia, building a refinery down there for the last 2 years. So we've really gone worldwide with our rentals and definitely with our sales.
Well, I'm afraid we're running out of time. These interviews go so fast. They could go 3 times as long, and I still wouldn't get to all my questions. But tell our listeners a little bit more about how they can find out about Imperial Crane if they're either looking to team up with you as an employee, perhaps, of your fine family, or use your crane services for some project they're doing. What's the best way to get to us?
I mean, the best way to get a hold of us, obviously, is to call us. Our 888 number is 888-HOIST-IT.
I love that, 888-HOIST-IT.
Or you can definitely get us on our website, imperialcrane.com. And those three ways, we're easy to get a hold of.
Terrific. Well, again, I'm afraid we're out of time, but thanks for being with us today, Jeff. Second generation, great American business story. You epitomize the entrepreneurial spirit we look for in our interviews. So thank you again for being with us. I'd like to thank our listeners again for tuning in. This has been the Playmaker Spotlight with your host, Dick Smith, the CEO business coach and award-winning chair for Vistage International. If you'd like to find out more information about me or my peer groups, don't hesitate to email me at dick.smith@vistagechair.com or look for me on LinkedIn, if you will. Stay tuned for more of Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein.